Welcome to Mr. Moon has left the building. Me and Addy, we had Gary on for a couple of videos earlier this week. He's back to us two. Are you okay?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. More West Ham chat.
Yeah, we're on a West Ham chat, venting for our little hour that we do. But the today's topic is the director of football before the next manager. Now, this is coming off of things that we have said, but I think I watched Claret and Booze this week, and I think he put it better, in a better way than I ever had. And I'm kind of backing him up with what I think here. And I actually think it was if you haven't seen it, go and have a look at his video on his YouTube channel, because I thought it was really, really well put. And I actually was like, yes, that's exactly what I meant, but you've explained it better than me. So we're going to do a thing, and I'm going to ask you the question, because obviously manager is a big talk at the moment. It looks like, as we're filming, Potter's being given 2 games until he's sacked, basically, until the international break, which seems the weirdest thing again. Do you think just putting in another manager is going to cure the problems at West Ham?
No.
No.
In a word.
And I don't either. And I don't care who that manager is.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. I don't think it actually matters who it is, because it won't change anything really. You know, the results might improve slightly.
Yeah.
But the grand scheme of thing, the direction of the club, it's not going to change. You know, we're just going to go round and round in circles. You know, look, we got lucky with Moyes for a few years, didn't we? And they were great years, to be honest, the best years of my West Ham supporting life. But that comes to an end, and
the Band-Aid seeped off, and the blood just spurted out, because
exactly that.
Because again, was it Moyes? We don't know, because there was no direction. We bought old players that had no sell-on value. We're not commercially good enough to get more money in. So then you kind of go, well, okay, in 3 years' time, when all that fell off and we wasted the Declan Rice money on different styles of players and things like that, and then you go, oh shit, we're in the quicksand, which is now. So I do agree. When I know I back David Moyes up a lot, and so do you, and I get Moyes left us in a terrible situation with an aging squad. I completely agree with that as well. But that should never be down to the manager to decide that. Like, no club would allow that to happen this day, would they? No. So and Claret and Booze, he said, before a manager comes in, there should be a structure of the club, and a director of football should be appointed who makes all the footballing decisions for the club. I am very much on board with that. If it was the right appointment, now I'm not saying go and stick in an ex-player in that position. And sorry, that might sound like I'm having a dig at Mark Noble there. That is not what I'm talking about at all. I'm just saying that's not what I want. Go and stick in Paolo Di Canio as the director of football.
No, it's a specialist role, and arguably it becomes the most important role at the club.
In football now, it is the most important role.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to go and get one from a club, right? And look at someone who's doing something very well, maybe at Brighton, maybe at Brentford, and probably there's no point going and getting one from Manchester United, or Real Madrid, because they've got a different budget to us, right? So you need someone that can work, whether that's in foreign places, and then set up the club accordingly. Now that's with scouts, with the youth systems, the coachings, the way we play, and I think that also should be brought into like a fans debate. We've brought this in as well. What do we want to be? Who do we want to be? Do we want to be the Academy of Football? Do we want to be long ball? Do we like whatever it is? I know that's not what people want, but people went away from Moyes because they hated his brand of football. We are 2 managers later going to bring in Nuno Espirito Santos, who's exactly the same brand of football. So that doesn't make sense. And Lopetegui and Potter, no different to the style of football whatsoever. So I just don't get it. I think you have to bring in a framework before you bring in a manager. Now, I don't think we will, but I think it will be the death of our club.
That was going to be my next question. Do you think that our board, even because obviously they've brought in, I mean, Tim Sutton was a technical director. I don't know what his responsibilities were, but I'm sure they weren't to oversee the running of the football club. There might have been just the recruitment side of things.
And Nobes is sporting director, but we don't know what that entails, because all we know with Nobes' job was he started as sporting director and then went off to the academy to do what we don't know. And that just tells you there that they kind of made up a job for him. Would I have loved to see Mark Noble as the director of football West Ham? What I'd have loved was them to bring one in and have Mark work with him so he's learning. Because you can't expect Mark to know all the answers. It's like, it's an easy scapegoat, really. Well, we gave Mark the chance, but if you're not learning from anyone and you've never done that job, like, how do you know what to do?
Yeah, I just can't see our board bringing in someone who basically is running the whole football club, where they're hands off completely and letting this guy or lady run the whole football. I can't ever see them, because obviously even when it comes to budgets and stuff like that, he will be the one really overseeing the players. Obviously, he'll probably decide with the manager, but he's the one who's going to be, where the money's being spent and stuff like that. And I can't ever see them just having their hands off.
And I totally want the board to be working alongside this guy. So I don't. When I say it's completely his idea, it has to be with the board as well. And I'd love to see the Sullivan kids involved in that process and things like that as well, where they're all learning jobs from someone who is highly skilled at the job. And say, this is the way we're going to move forward. And we're all with you. We're all on the same page. We're going to sit down. We're going to discuss this. But we will not be signing players outside of this age bracket, this playing style, this demographic, etc., unless we can really state a case. And there may be times where you have to go, like Liverpool did with Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah with their new contracts, where they said, you know what, these two are very special. We have to break the mould for these two. Okay. And that, as it shows, looks like it was a good move for Liverpool this year. But there would have obviously, with them two, there was clearly months of discussion about whether to do it or not, because it did not fit their mould. Chelsea have a mould of player, age, sellability, and actually maybe Chelsea's model isn't to win the league. Maybe it is to earn money from player sales now, because that's what they seem to be doing, because otherwise they would have bought a goalkeeper and a centre-half. But we've got to have a way forward, haven't we?
Yeah, and that someone needs to come in that position. I think it's vital for us to move forward as a club. It's the only way with these owners that we're going to move forward as a club. But whether they do it, because obviously that means they're going to have to recruit someone from another club, which means obviously paying the compensation. Unlikely to happen. But it's vital. I think it is the only way our club will move forward and have a clear strategy, and have that continuing strategy for the club going forward. I think.
I'm completely with you, and it just, at the moment, if you had to describe our current club strategy, what would you say it is? No, because I think it's actually I actually think it's quite a clear strategy, because it's happened every time. Get in a manager, out of work, pay no compensation, humiliate the current manager for months or weeks, give him extra 2 weeks, put it out in the press that he's going to be fired, recruit a new manager, maybe with a different playing style, with who's out of work. We don't use youth. We alienate our fan base and hope something works like David Moyes did. I think, and by a geriatric old player and hope he rekindles the former self. And I think that is our current plan at the minute.
No, but is that a strategy, or is that just, doing it as you go along? Do you know what I mean?
Which is, isn't it? But that is what we do, isn't it?
That's what we do.
It's rinse and repeat,
strategy.
time after time. How many players, old players, have we gambled on for years?
Oh no, yeah. I mean, we do the same things over and over again. It's ridiculous. And things that haven't worked, we do again, in the future.
And cost us fortunes
crazy.
in wages, in money, in payoffs. So it's not like that we're not spending the money. That's what I would like to say to the West Ham fans. We do spend money, but terribly.
Oh yeah.
The commercialisation of the club, it's bad. Our kits. When do we bring out a little training? Look at Arsenal and things like that, like what they're doing. Liverpool. I'll go around, I'm in LA, and I was in Dubai actually as well in the summer. Liverpool took over superstores for their kits, for like the Liverpool launch, right? Now, obviously, we are not Liverpool, so we can't do that globally. But you see other teams, they've got cool stuff coming out and things like that. You go, why are we not doing this? Why are we not having partnerships like with, it might be local brands within London, right? Clothing brands. Do a little collab. The West Ham so-and-so collab. Which is something cool which fans buy and things like that. The West Ham Roll Deep Crew collab. I'm just going off the top of my head. Where you got Roll Deep doing something with them and it's keeping it East London. The West Ham Robin's Pie and Mash, Tony's Pie and Mash collab. People do all this stuff and they like it and they're going and buy a T-shirt with Tony's Pie and Mash and a West Ham badge on it and you've given that commercialisation, but everyone goes, look at this, it's pretty cool. And that's just little thinking off the top of my head. I'm not a marketing person, but...
You never see anything really trendy when it comes to West Ham. It's always corny. It's
badly made.
It's never cool and trendy and... forward thinking. It's just the same old tat.
Same old tat. Really, it is like the old dressing gown that looks like if you had a fag near it, it burn you alive. But that's what I do think, and I urge West Ham to look at the structure of this club because I really, really think it could be doomsday for us. If we go down with that same mentality as well, where we're going to get, let's say we go down, get rid of a load of wage bill, bring in a load of other players, new style for a little while, come back up, sack that manager, up and down a little bit, and it just, I don't know. There's no look at Southampton and look at Ipswich. They're at the top of that championship. They're at the bottom half already. Mm-hmm. It ain't easy, and that's
no, not at all.
And Leicester not even in the top six either. I don't think. And that's only a few games, but that's where I see. So I think that's what we asked West Ham. Let us know what you think. Are you just want a quick manager in, or do you want a framework to the club? Would you be happy if the club said, look, we're putting in a framework, but maybe we're not going as much on player transfers? Let us know, and we will see you all soon.